All right, welcome back. This is going to be part 5 in our Forensics Master List series of 5 videos. And you made it to the 5th one, 20 to 25. So this is going to top off our 25 most important forensic science vocab terms and concepts, pieces of evidence that are used. So number 20, or this section I want to call digital and modern techniques. So I think this is an important one to go last, and as it's the most recent and relevant. So digital and modern techniques, and number 21 is going to be digital forensics. So this is a growing area of study. It's getting more advanced and more advanced. But it's going to be recovering and analyzing data from computers, from phones, from any digital device. This is obviously used in a lot of police investigations today. Every investigation, pretty much, I would say. A good example of this would be the BTK killer case in 2005. What was his name? Dennis Rader was caught when police traced floppy disks he sent back to his church computer. So just something that small, it's very traceable, and that's how they got him. That's what led them to him, and thank goodness, thank God that they found him. But digital forensics is a very powerful tool nowadays. All right, moving right on. Number 22 is going to be forensic linguistics. Forensic linguistics. So this is going to be analyzing written or spoken language to identify authorship or detect deception. In the case of the Unabomber, actually, Ted Kaczynski, he was caught after his own brother actually recognized his writing style in the manifesto published by the newspapers. So that's wild to think that, he would see that and turn in his brother, but he had to do it, and he was able to identify him that way. And there's plenty more examples of linguistics being involved, but I can't remember the exact. I think it's something with the forgery of the Mormon documents. For linguistics, forensics was using that as well. So very important piece of forensic evidence. All right, number 23 on our list is going to be bloodstain pattern analysis. Man, growing up watching Forensic Files, this was used all the time. The angle of the bloodstains, you name it, the thickness of the blood, the way it fell. It's crazy to me what investigators can determine just from analyzing bloodstains. But just simply put, this would be defined as examining blood patterns to help determine events like direction of attack, like I was saying, the angle, direction of attack, weapons used, or number of blows. So all those things are very, very significant and can help investigators greatly in a case, as you could imagine. A good real life example of this, let me see. In 1970, the Jeffrey McDonald case, bloodstain analysis contradicted his story of intruders into his home, which led to his conviction for killing his family. So you can see the magnitude of this type of evidence, the picture it could help paint, and the things it could dispute and throw out the window, proving not true. When there's a homicide, unfortunately, a lot of times the blood is going to tell a big story, an important story. So this is a really important field for forensics to continue to improve upon, in my opinion. All right, number 24, we're moving on. This is going to be forensic psychology. I don't know if you've seen the videos on YouTube, Jim Can't Swim, but it's super interesting when, there's a criminal of a big crime, say a big homicide that's high profile, and they're showing the interrogations from the police officers. The psychology of it has always been so interesting to me, how they try to get into the mind of these people, how they try to get information out of them when they're like brick walls. But a lot of times, using psychological tools, they break them down, and they get the convictions, they get the answers they need, and it helps solve crimes. But forensic psychology would be defined as applying psychology to criminal profiling, witness reliability, and offender behavior. A good real-life example would be profilers that were studying the Unabomber created a psychological profile of the perpetrator that correctly described him as a socially isolated academic. That perfectly described the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski. He lived out in the woods, and he was, I can't remember what college he went to, but he was very well educated and did well in school, but a hermit, was socially isolated. In that case, the profile really helped lead to finding him. And I think that's huge. I think forensic psychology is a tricky one, because you're dealing with a lot of different dynamics changing. They can change anytime. People can change their behavior on a whim. But it takes a very astute and experienced investigator or detective to be able to use this to their advantage. All right, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I think these terms are very important. If you're interested in the world of forensics, they're important to know. So we're at our last one, number 25 on our list. Let's just get right into it. It's going to be facial recognition technology. So this is a somewhat new one that's being improved upon, but in the last 20 years or so. But it's going to be very, very important in the years to come. And man, I'm not a criminal, but if I was, I don't see how you would feel safe trying to get away with anything. But facial recognition technology, this is going to be defined as using AI and digital imaging to match faces to databases. So good luck if you're trying to get away with something, but they have a database of images, and this is kind of a different example, but card counters and blackjack, casinos keep databases of people's images. Just think about how much more law enforcement does. So facial recognition technology, a good example of this in real life would be the 2013 Boston Marathon bombing. Surveillance cameras and digital facial recognition actually helped to identify the Zamev brothers. I can't remember how you say it, but helped to identify them, and it gave the investigators and police the right person to look for. And that was huge in that case. It took a little bit of time to find them, but that's going to be a very interesting one, and I think it's going to be improved on a lot in years to come, which is a good thing and bad thing in the sense that, people have mixed feelings about our rights and our information being out there on a database, but I think on the grand scheme, it's good for, reducing crime and that sort of thing. So that's number 25. All right, that's the 25 master list, forensic masters list. Broken down into my 5 videos. We're going to be talking a lot more about a lot more forensic topics, case-specific ones on different cases, the forensics used in each one. And something I want to talk about is actually how forensics was used in ancient times, very elementary ways of solving crimes. And I'm sure back then, you would think back then there was a lot less wrongful convictions, but there are a lot of them now too, which is another thing I like to talk about is wrongful convictions, and how forensics needs to have a check and balance system to know when it's not as accurate as it presents itself. But thank you for tuning in, and please Feel free to comment anything you find interesting about what we went over. Thank you.